We have breaking news in Ottawa. There has been a principal agreement in place for the Senators to finally be sold. We'll discuss who the new owner is going to be and what we could expect coming up next. So welcome back to another video here at Top Shelf Hockey. As I mentioned, we have some breaking news in Ottawa. After over a long number of weeks here, we finally have the news that the current ownership of the Senators, which is obviously Eugene Melnick's daughters, and the Board of Governors has been running the team, have reached an agreement in principle to sell the franchise. The new owner is going to be Toronto billionaire Michael Andlauer. Now, of course, it's been down to approximately two bidders for the last number of days between Andlauer and the Kimmel family. Of course, both of these groups had connections to the NHL. Andlauer currently is a minority holder of the Montreal Canadiens, so he owns a small piece of that franchise, which will be sold as part of this. Obviously, you can't have ownership stake in two different NHL franchises. That would be a conflict. And, of course, the Kimmel family being the other one who formerly owned a minority share of the Pittsburgh Penguins before they were sold to the Fenway Group back last year. So, obviously, Andlauer has been kind of considered, a favorite through most of this process for quite some time. Of course, there was also the Nico Sparks group, which had all those celebrities involved. It's believed that group was considered to be underfunded, is what they were saying, that he was still trying to raise capital even late in this late stage of the game here. And, of course, there's Steve Apostolopoulos, another Toronto billionaire, who also recently tried to purchase the Washington Commanders in the NFL, and it was reported to us, I think, 2-3 days ago that he was out of the running for the Senators. He dropped out after being frustrated with the process. I'm not really sure what went wrong. There's a number of rumors as to why and what happened, but of course we don't have any firm confirmation on that. But there was one of the reporters that works for Forbes magazine, which seems to have good intel on a lot of these groups. They were saying the Apostolopoulos bid was never one that should have been taken too seriously. Just like when they tried to buy the Washington Commanders, there were some that kind of viewed it upon as not being serious, that they weren't convinced that they could actually fund the deal. I don't really know, how much of that is true, but it seems to be something to it here. When you've tried to, make two large purchases of two different sports franchises in a short time span, and neither of them are, getting to be successful, you have to wonder when you're going through the vetting process and talking to the bankers and, all that, there's going to be some kind of concerns there somewhere, something that frustrated him. I don't know. Either way, Michael Andlauer appears to be the winning bid. So he'll have the first opportunity here, of course, to kind of close the sale, which usually should take about 60 to 90 days. Now, Michael Andlauer also is on the NHL board. He's an alternate governor with the Montreal Canadiens. So, obviously very familiar to Gary Bettman and all the other owners and executives around the NHL. So obviously this bid is believed to be for the sale around $1 billion. We don't know the exact figure as of yet, but it's around $1 billion. I wouldn't be shocked if it comes in less than. It was the last I had seen and reported that his bid was going to be around $950. It's believed that the original bid was between $850, $875, something in that range, but it was later increased to try to compete with the other groups. Of course, Michael Andlauer is likely expected to kind of make the most changes, is what we had heard before, when it comes to hockey operations. They were probably going to be the group to bring in some of their own people and kind of make the most sweeping changes. Now, we don't know what extent that's going to be. This is still obviously very early in that process, but it wouldn't be shocking if we do get some of Andlauer's preferred people in the mix. Of course, he also owns Ontario Hockey League's Hamilton Bulldogs. So there was a lot of speculation that he might try to bring Steve Staios to the Senators. Staios, of course, just recently in the past year started working for the Edmonton Oilers. And some people see him as being a potential, future replacement of Ken Holland in Edmonton should he stay. But he was a longtime president and GM of the Bulldogs for Andlauer. And, of course, Andlauer is quite fond of his work. And, he may try to bring him over to the Ottawa Senators. We'll see about that. There's been some rumors about potential coaches. I've heard Claude Julien's name, Patrick Waugh's name. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see on that front. And same thing goes for Pierre Dorion. Will he still have a role, or will they swap everything and make a whole new sweeping changes? Only time will tell. We'll have to wait and see on that front. But at the end of the day, Andlauer appears to be somebody who's very passionate about the sport. I mean, he loves the game of hockey. We do know that much as well. I believe he plays himself still recreationally for fun, at this stage of his life and career. And obviously, he's passionate about winning a Stanley Cup, is what everybody seems to say. He really wants to, build a winning team and bring a cup to Ottawa, which is, a huge part of what you want to see from an owner. You want to be able to spend the money to put the team on the ice to get the job done, and that's what Ottawa fans have been looking for quite some time, to have that stability to do so. Now, I guess we'll have to see what their potential plans are for an arena. I know there's been different real estate plays and different, ideas around what could happen on that front. Of course, we know the Sens were looking at, building the new arena at LeBreton Flats. Will that still be the case? Will they look at other options? Lots of questions, which we don't know the answers to, because we don't know what this particular ownership group is going to want to do. So I'll be curious to see when we can finally hear from them at some point here in the near future, to hopefully get some answers in that regard. So we'll see. But at least for now, we have a sale agreement, which has been something that fans have been looking for a number of days and weeks now. So it appears to be over with from that front. Now we move forward with getting this puppy closed. So let me know your thoughts on Michael Andlauer becoming the new owner of the Ottawa Senators down in the comments. We'll discuss further. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe and stick around. We'll keep you up to date with all the latest news, rumors, and analysis of all 32 NHL teams. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time.